Let's have some fun and chat about Disney. Hi everyone, it's Herb from World of Walt, and I am coming to you live on Saturday morning, not from the Disney parks unfortunately because they are closed due to the pandemic, but I am coming to you live from my home office. Today I've got a fun show planned for us. We're going to do some trivia questions. I'm going to ask some questions about what's going on for you in your world, and I do have a prize giveaway this week, just like I did last week. Pretty excited to be able to share that with you. So everyone, I appreciate your joining me. Welcome to the show. Today I'm going to try to do a couple things technically that I have not done in the past. We'll see how well this works. And I need to see if this is really working or not. I don't know if it is. Maybe it is working. Okay, I'm going to assume that it's working. Sometimes the technology is a little hard to understand. I don't see any comments coming through yet, so hopefully people are seeing the video. It looks like some folks are starting to join. Oh, okay, now I'm seeing some comments. That's great, thank you. Emmy, hello to you. Thank you for joining and thank you for commenting for me. Now I know the broadcast is alive, and Donna is on as well. Donna, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So today, what's going to go on? Let's take a quick peek. I've got some questions I'm going to ask. I'm just curious on what's happening for you in your world. I've got some trivia questions as well. We'll have some fun with some Disney trivia. Please don't Google the answers. The whole idea is just to see what you may know in your head or what you might be able to check out and just take a good guess. I do have a giveaway. I've got a special guest I'm hoping to bring into the broadcast, and we'll just have a lot of fun chatting back and forth. So again, thanks for everyone being here. Jim said it's working. Jim, thank you very much. Rachel said she's on a stay-at-home order in Maryland. I hope that everything is okay for you there. Okay, I can see that the technology is working, so we're going to give this a shot now. I'm going to start off with my first question for everyone. Let's see how it goes. So here's my first question. I am interested in what your work schedule looks like these days. So I know these are very strange times, and work schedules are different than what they used to be. So how about for you? What is your work schedule like? Are you unexpectedly not working? And if that's the case, I'm very sorry to hear it. Are you working but in a different way than you have been in the past? Or maybe you've got kind of the same old routine. So I'm interested in what work looks like for you these days. Are you unexpectedly not working? Are you working but in a different way? Or is it the same old routine? I can see that some of the responses are starting to come in, which is good. Looks like about 50% of the folks so far are working, but just in a different way. About 30% are unexpectedly not working, and about 30% or so are the same routine. The numbers are jumping around a little bit. Let's give it another minute. I'd love to see in the comments section what things look like for you personally. Are you working from home when perhaps you've never done that before? Maybe you are not working temporarily, and if that's the case, my heart goes out to you. I know that these are very hard times. So I think I can go ahead and show the results here in the video. So it looks like 40% said they're working but differently. About 35% said same old routine. And we've got about 25% who are unexpectedly not working. Okay, so now I can see some comments coming in. That was my error, not a technical error. So Rebecca said she's working in a different way. Vivian said working in the same campground in Kissimmee. Hi Vivian, nice to see you here. Thanks for joining. Melanie is working for a medical doctor, works every day, so essential work going on there. Rhonda's a healthcare worker, says very anxiety inducing. I could certainly understand that. Kathy's working remotely. Terry, unexpectedly not working, so sorry to hear that, at home with a parent. So Terry, thank you for taking care of your family like that. I appreciate it. Okay everyone, I appreciate you letting me know what's going on with your work schedule these days. I know these are very different times. So we'll start off with some of the trivia questions now. This one's interesting and has something to do with the the Disney news this week. So Bob Chapek, who is currently the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, decided that he was going to cut his own pay this week, as well as the pay of many executives. This news actually comes together at the same time that Disney announced they're going to be furloughing all non-essential employees in Disney parks because they just do not know what the timeline looks like for reopening the parks. But Bob Chapek, as the CEO, cut his pay and cut the pay of many other executives as well. So for Bob Chapek, the new CEO of Disney, how much do you think he cut his own pay? 25%, 50%, or 100%? So we got people answering in now. Trev said working in the transportation industry and still trucking. So Trev, thank you very much for doing that. I know that the trucks are the lifeblood of getting the goods around this country. We really appreciate the fact that you continue to work. So thank you for that. All right, so the votes are coming in about the amount of pay cut that Bob Chapek took this week. So far, 12% of the people are saying 25%, 55% are saying he took a 50% pay cut, and 31% are saying he took a 100% pay cut. Christina is guessing 50%, and Christina, you are right. So Mr. Chapek took a 50% pay cut as the chief executive officer. Interestingly, Bob Iger, who is the former CEO but now heads creative work within the company, took a 100% pay cut. These, I believe, are salary cuts. These folks probably still get benefits, get bonuses, so they're probably still doing okay. Still, it's good to see that leaders are empathizing with what's happening for their employees and what's happening generally in the economy. Eileen says hubby is a cast member of the Crystal Palace waiting to hear about what's going on with union members. So that's a very good point. Many of the announcements that have come out have not yet been detailed as far as what they mean for the union employees at Disney. Gail says to Trev, you're a hero. Yes, that is true. Trev, thank you so much for continuing to work. Michelle says a travel agent spending days canceling vacations. Very sad. This is a difficult time for travel agents. And actually, we're going to hear from one in just a few minutes. So stay tuned for that. It would be interesting to get some direct perspectives. Kristen, hello to you. Says, thanks for keeping Saturdays filled with Disney magic. Very happy to do that. I appreciate your being here today. All right, I've got my shifty eyes as I look around my screen, see what's going on. Okay, up next we have another question. So let me get the question in the poll. This was an interesting question based on something that Disney published this week. Whoops, I guess, oh, well, I'm going to jump. Here we go. Okay, moving around a little bit. So which of the following is an address for a Disney Imagineering facility? Which of the following is an address for a Disney Imagineering facility? Is it 1401 Flower Street? Is it 1375 East Buena Vista Drive? Or is it 1390 Celebration Boulevard? So this is a tricky question. There could be engineers at any of these facilities, but one of them is primarily dedicated to Imagineering. Also, I'll give you a hint. The one of these addresses is in California, and two of these addresses are in Florida. All of them are addresses of Disney properties where Disney cast members and employees work, but only one of them is an address that primarily holds Disney Imagineering. Mark said 1390 Celebration Boulevard. Dolores says, loves the Saturday morning trivia. Dolores, thank you so much. I appreciate your being here. Okay, so the answers are coming in. Right now, the winning guess is 1375 East Buena Vista Drive. So I'll tell you that 1375 East Buena Vista Drive is an address here in Orlando. It's actually the address of the Team Disney building, which is primarily an administrative building right across from Disney Springs. It is not primarily a Disney Imagineering facility, though. 1390 Celebration Boulevard, also an address here in Orlando, actually in Celebration, not too far from where I live. 1390 Celebration Boulevard is actually the address of the Disney Vacation Club headquarters. So the correct answer, this was a stumper, is 1401 Flower Street. So Jennifer got that right. 1401 Flower Street is an address in Glendale, California. It's the headquarters, as I understand it, of Imagineering, where many Disney Imagineers work. And actually this week, Disney posted a video, which you can check out at worldofwalt.com, giving you a little sneak preview into the building. It's something they very rarely open up. Disney's very secretive about the developments that they're going through, especially what the Imagineers are up to. So 1401 Flower Street, Glendale, California, a primarily Disney Imagineering facility. Kristen asks, do I live in Celebration? I sure do. I have for many years, and very, very blessed that I get the opportunity to be here. All right, I'm going to jump back now a little bit, and I'm going to see if I can patch in a guest to the show. Let's see if this works. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Good. I think the technology might be joining. Thanks, or working. So thank you for joining the Facebook Live. So everyone on the show knows Jessica Hayes is owner of In Touch Vacations, travel agent. She's a sponsor of World of Walt, and I'm very thankful that she does that. I wanted to check in with her on a couple things on what's happening in the world of Disney vacation planning. First off, I know that the vacation planning world is sort of very upset these days, or just in a turmoil. And I think you've probably been very busy with people calling in and answering or asking questions about what's happening with their vacations, what's happening with cancellations. So tell me a little bit about what the past couple weeks have been like for you as a Disney travel agent, and what sort of things you're able to do for people who had vacations and they didn't come through. Okay, thanks, Jessica. So I'm hearing from people on the broadcast that they can't hear you very well. So I am going to try one or two things here to see if I can get the technology to cooperate a little bit better. And if not, may have to try at a different time. So I'm sorry about that. Let me see. Yeah, let me see if I can get this to work any better. So it seems like some people are saying they can't hear. Other people are saying it's just very hard to hear. So I'm going to try to make one adjustment. Yeah, I can see that as well here. Okay. Well, Jessica, I apologize. I'm not sure why the audio is not coming through, and I don't see a good way to be able to fix it. So yeah, I appreciate your calling in. Oh, do you want to say something real quick, and I can relay it to the folks on the chat? Okay. Oops, now I see someone saying audio is coming through fine. Maybe that's my audio. Okay. All right, so I think, yeah, I appreciate that. We'll try it again another time. I did want to let folks know, though, if they're interested in getting a quote for a Disney vacation from Jessica, no obligation, they can go to worldofwalt.com/quote. There's a short form to fill out there. And Disney is starting to release deals now for the summertime, actually pretty good deals. So if you are interested in planning a vacation now, Jessica can help out. Just go to worldofwalt.com/quote. And also, if you do use that form to start the vacation planning process, there is a way for you to get some Disney gift cards as a result. So, Jessica, thanks again for calling in. We'll work on the tech, and I appreciate your patience with me. Okay, bye-bye. All right, everyone. So sorry about that. People were saying they can only hear me. Oh, some people can hear both. So, all right, we'll try that again some other time. So I'm going to go back to a couple other things here. We also talked about Mr. Peck. We talked with Jessica. Okay, so let's switch gears here and talk about the prize for this week. So last week I gave away a prize. It was the Cuddle Party Disney trading pin. This week I'm actually giving away 2 trading pins. They come in this Villains comic box. There are 2 of them. I don't know what they are because this is a sealed box. But it looks like a fun collection. I actually have it here in my grubby little hands where you can see it. The back has got some examples of the different characters that are in it. So very cool. If you'd like to win this box with 2 Disney trading pins, what you can do is send an email to me. Send the email to info@worldofwalt.com and in the subject line put comic. You don't need to put any details in the body of the email, but send an email to info@worldofwalt.com. In the subject put the word comic and I'll enter you in to win this box with 2 Disney trading pins, 2 villain pins. Please send your email by Tuesday, April 7th and I'll pick a winner sometime shortly after that. Carolyn said, very awesome. Tim said, when is the Herb pin coming out? Oh, Tim, hang on. I may have some surprises for you. That may be a harbinger of things to come. Sue, good morning to Rhode Island, says, staying home. Good for you. Kathy said, time to take meds so I can get over the virus. Kathy, I hope that you're doing okay. I don't know if that's the scary coronavirus or another one, but I hope that you're doing well. Brian said, how about a walking tour, a celebration? Once this is over, I think I may do that if I'm able to get out in my own town, but not able to get to the parks. Right now we are at a stay-home order, only allowed to go out for essential reasons like going to the grocery store, so can't really go out for things aside from that. Susan said, tried to send an email but came back as undeliverable. So let me make sure I didn't misspell it. So info at worldofwalt.com. So you may go ahead and try to type that in again. I'm pretty sure that one works. Info at worldofwalt.com. Stacy, good morning to you, Long Island, New York, says enjoy the broadcast. Thanks, I appreciate that. All right, so I'll give another reminder about how to enter to win the pin. But let's go ahead and move forward. Just have a general question now for folks. So I know it's nowhere near Christmas time. It's only April. We still have a long ways to go, and the cold weather is going to be soon turning into warm weather. But I'm just curious, have you had an opportunity to visit Walt Disney World during Christmas time? It really is a special time of the year to join the folks at the Walt Disney World Resort. The decorations are out. There's a fun feeling in the air. It can be a very busy time of year, but also a very special time of the year. So I'm wondering for you, have you visited Walt Disney World, had a Disney vacation during Christmas time? You can let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see what everybody says. Liz said, stay at home for groceries only. That seems to be the way that is in most places these days. So Karen said visited in December once, prefers the fall. Donna said has been to Disney World twice for Christmas time. That's great. Kim has only been there in the first week of December, which is actually a really great time to visit. So if you go in early December, typically the Thanksgiving crowds are down, but the Christmas time crowds aren't in quite yet. However, all the decorations are up, so it is a really fun time to be there. Brandy said 5 times at Christmas time. We're there she was here this past December. That's great. Sherry said visited in Christmas of 2009. All right, great. Barbara, love the beautiful Christmas decorations. Missed the Candlelight Processional. Candlelight Processional is a wonderful presentation given most nights at Epcot with a celebrity narrator telling the biblical Christmas story. It's really a beautiful event to be part of. So if you've never done the Candlelight Processional at Epcot, I would suggest it. Pretty hard to get seats unless you have a dining reservation, so you might want to check that out. Molly went this past Christmas and had a great time. Lee said Christmas at Disney is beautiful. Been there 4 times during the Christmas time season. That's great. Seems like a lot of people have had an opportunity to be there. Tim Peterson has been there. Christmas time, loves the snow on Main Street, USA. That is a very fun part of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Kathy goes about every 3 years after Thanksgiving. Good time to go. Bill took family for retirement the second week in December 2017. Bill, nice way to treat your family. That's great. Okay, good. That was fun. I appreciate everybody sharing with me their Christmas visit stories. So let's see what's up next. Oh yeah, so here's an announcement. So if you enjoy these live broadcasts, I've got another one coming up on Monday. This is one that I'm not going to be doing at facebook.com/worldofwalt, but I'm actually going to be doing with the fun ladies over at SoFlo SAS on Monday at 6 a.m. Pacific. Sorry, not 6 a.m., 6 p.m. Eastern. Boy, I had the AM and PM and the time zone mixed up. That was not good. 6 p.m. Eastern. You'll be able to tune in to a fun talk show at w4cy.com or iHeartRadio. We'll be talking Disney fun. We've got some Disney gift cards to give away. So if you'd like a little bit more Disney fun, this Monday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern time, got it right, w4cy.com or iHeartRadio's the SoFlo SAS show. So hope that you will join me there. Melissa says blue Skype box is blocking the screen. Okay, thank you for that. Let me see if I can get rid of the crazy Skype box. Hopefully that will help. Oh yeah, I see it's there. Okay, I'm going to hide that box. And to get rid of that thing, and goodbye Skype. All right, thanks everyone. Appreciate you letting me know that. Okay, so what are we up to next? I think I've got another question. Let me see what it is. Oh yes, so here's another trivia question. Let me publish the poll. So here's the question, and this one might be a little bit tricky. What was the first Disney Vacation Club or DVC resort? So that's the question for today. What was the first Disney Vacation Club or DVC resort? So 3 different options. The first option, Saratoga Springs. The second option, Old Key West. The third option, Bay Lake Tower. Beryl said SoFlo SAS is a tongue twister. Yes, it is. It is very much a tongue twister. Okay, so guesses are coming in on what the first Disney Vacation Club or DVC resort was. Saratoga Springs, Old Key West, or Bay Lake Tower. All right, so so far about 30% of the people are saying Saratoga, 55% of the people are saying Old Key West, and 16% of the people are saying Bay Lake Tower. So people got a pretty good guess on this one. So Bay Lake Tower is actually one of the newest Disney Vacation Club facilities to open up right next to the Contemporary Resort, very close to the Magic Kingdom. A beautiful building, nice views into the park. Saratoga Springs is a Disney Vacation Club property, the one right across from Disney Springs, beautiful spot. But the original DVC facility was Old Key West. That's the answer. So 60% of the folks here got that right. The first Disney Vacation Club resort was Old Key West. So actually, Old Key West opened on December 20th, 1991, and was originally just called the Disney Vacation Club Resort. But then I think Disney got on to the fact that, we got something going on here, so we're probably going to open up more of these. We probably need to give each one its own individual name. And so in January of 1996, the Disney Vacation Club Resort was renamed to the Old Key West Resort. Kind of fun. All right, so the answer, Old Key West Resort. Kelly said she was going to say Saratoga. Karen said not getting the poll options. I can see that some people are, so you may need to maybe jump out of the broadcast and jump back in. Sometimes all of this technology is very flaky, but the poll technology especially can be a little flaky. Sometimes if you go out and come back in, that can help. Mary Ellen says, loves Old Key West. The rooms are nice and big. Cindy thought Old Key West was too obvious. Mina said, unlucky, didn't get it right. That's okay. I'm glad that you're playing along. That's the part that's fun. It's not about necessarily getting the right answer. It's just about having some fun with the questions here. All right, so let's go on to the next one. This one may be a little bit tricky. Well, okay, they're all a little bit tricky. I try to make them tricky. That's part of what's going on here. But let's do the next one. This Disney ship was accidentally destroyed in 1980. this Disney ship was accidentally destroyed in 1980. Was it the Nautilus? Was it the Admiral Joe Fowler? Or was it the Congo Queen? So interesting to know that some Disney ships actually have been destroyed. And this is going to be a tough question, I think. This Disney ship was accidentally destroyed in 1980. So votes are starting to come in. Looks like they're kind of all over. So almost 50% of the people are saying the Nautilus, 15% are saying the Admiral Joe Fowler, 44% are saying the Congo Queen. Jill was just here in December. Jill, I hope you had a good trip. Thanks for the comment. I always appreciate everybody chatting with me. All right, Disney ship that was accidentally destroyed in 1980. So I'll tell you first off, it is not the Congo Queen. The Congo Queen is actually one of the ships on the Jungle Cruise, and at Christmas time it gets renamed. And these days at Christmas time it's called the Candy Cane Queen. So that was not the one that was destroyed in 1980. Also, the ship not destroyed in 1980, the Nautilus. So the Nautilus is a general name for the sub from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The Disney ship that was accidentally destroyed in 1980 was the Admiral Joe Fowler, if you can believe that. So the Admiral Joe Fowler was one of the steam wheeler boats, the paddle wheel boats, and it was actually named for a construction supervisor at Disneyland. That's who Admiral Joe Fowler was. Admiral Joe Fowler was then a ship at Walt Disney World. It started its operation the day after the opening day on October 2nd, 1971. And the fall of 1980, it was accidentally destroyed when it came into dry dock, and a crane fell on it. So there were actually two ships in the history of the Rivers of America at Walt Disney World. The other ship is the Richard F. Irvine, and the Richard F. Irvine was renamed to be the Liberty Bell in 1996. So these days in Liberty Square at Walt Disney World, you can still take a trip on the Richard F. Irvine, named after a Walt Disney World executive. Well, actually it was called the Richard F. Irvine, now it's called the Liberty Bell. But the ship that was destroyed was the Admiral Joe Fowler, which was one of the river boats on the Rivers of America in Liberty Square. Kelly said, got it right. Good wild guess. Mina got this one right too. This was a very tough one. Actually, the answers were pretty much split evenly across those three. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Joanne, hello to you in Willoughby, Ohio. Thanks for being here. All right, so this one is going to be about some news that took place this week. Oops, oh, another plug for the pin. Okay, so if you didn't hear before, there's a chance to win a prize this week. If you want to win a prize, which is 2 Disney trading pins, villain comic book pins, what you can do is send an email to me. Send that email to info@worldofwalt.com, and in the subject line, just put the word comic. You don't need to put anything in the body of the email, but send an email to me. Send it to info@worldofwalt.com, and in the subject, put the word comic, and I'll pick out a lucky winner who will win this blind box, which has got 2 Disney villain trading pins. Enter by April 7th, and good luck. All right, so here is the next question. Let me get the poll up. This is actually a very interesting piece of news from this week. So this week, of all weeks, Disney actually purchased additional land here in Orlando. And it's land that's adjacent to the Disney World property that they currently own. How much land did they buy? Did they buy 26 acres? Did they buy 235 acres, or did they buy 1,557 acres? Jeffrey, ABPP, always be plugging pins. Yes, sir, you are right. So, very interesting news that Disney made a land purchase this year of property adjacent to the Walt Disney World Resort. How many acres did they buy? Larry is guessing 26 acres, and actually 61% of the people have guessed that so far. 31% are guessing 235 acres, and 9% of the people are guessing 1,557 acres. Angel said 26 acres, Mike 26 acres, Sharon 26 acres, Kelly 26.3 acres, a very specific guess. All right, so it looks like many folks are getting this one right. So this week, Disney actually purchased 26 acres of land. That is actually located to the west of the Magic Kingdom. I think it's around Reedy Creek Lake, and it follows up a purchase that they made not too long ago. So far, Disney has not made announcements as to the plans for this property. It could be set aside for conservation purposes, so Disney has to keep a certain percentage of their land not developed. In the state of Florida, you can sort of trade off sections of land. If you want to develop something that was set aside for conservation before, you can buy some new land and instead set that aside so you can develop on your original land. But Disney in the past several years has made a number of purchases. Some of them have been adjacent to the existing Walt Disney World Resort property, as this one was this week of the 26 acres. It's just west of the Magic Kingdom. Other purchases have been in different areas in Central Florida. Most likely those were for environmental offset. So very interesting news. Kelly said they haven't said what the land will be for. Debbie said it may just be for alligator homes. Yes, that is true. Dolores said her trivia skills are off today. That's okay, Dolores. We're just doing it for fun. I appreciate that you are playing along. Kelly said, isn't that by the location where the old river country was? Actually, I believe river country is more east of the Magic Kingdom, and this is more west of the Magic Kingdom. Deb got one right. Sandra said, will there ever be an additional park built in the USA? Very good question. I don't know. I wouldn't expect any time in the near-term future, especially given all of the financial hits that Disney and really everyone are taking right now. But you never know. You never know. Joanne, good morning to you in Oklahoma. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining along. All right, so interesting news this week that Disney purchased 26 acres of land just west of the Magic Kingdom. All right, so here is my next question for you. So I am curious, when do you think that you will be back at Walt Disney World? Not a question necessarily on when do you think the park is going to open, but when do you think you might be back? So perhaps you were planning a visit in 2021 for the 50th anniversary of the Walt Disney World Resort, originally opened in 1971. Maybe you know you only come every 5 years, so you're not planning to come back till 2025. So I'm interested in what you think your plans might be for your next trip back to Walt Disney World. Jennifer said River Country's east. DVC Reflections Resort is where River Country used to be. Yes, that's very true. Not far from the campgrounds. Helene said, Helene, sorry if I'm getting that right. Trip is set for November. We shall see. Yep. Karen said August, as that was son's 6th birthday present. Very cool. Heather's got plans for July and October, like the way you roll. That is awesome. Cheryl, from fall of 2021, a big family vacation. That sounds like something fun to look forward to. Shelley said, love to go in 2021 for the 50th anniversary. Haven't been since 1988. A lot has changed since 1988. Completely different experience these days. Kelly's planning for October of 2020. Autumn said planning to go in September. Linda in October or November of 2021. James said, hopefully next March for a marching band trip. Those are a lot of fun. I did one of those when I was in high school. Bill says has reservations in mid-May. Not looking so good. Yep, that is true. And reservations in July and October. Sounds like you got all your bases covered. George said definitely going to be there in October of 2021 because he was there on the first opening day of the parks in 1971. That is great. Wow, very cool to actually hear from someone who was there on opening day. Teresa said she's going to go as soon as she can afford to take the grandkids, hopefully in 2021. Cora said have a trip planned at the end of September or October to celebrate 5-year wedding anniversary. Cora, congratulations on that milestone coming up. That's very cool. All right, so that was a fun question. Let's hop over to the next one. This one also has a tie into the news this week. Let's take a peek. So this actually is not a question about Walt Disney World. It's a question about Disneyland in Anaheim, California. So the Disney Parks blog posted a picture of a light that is illuminated in the window above the fire department on Main Street, USA in the Disneyland park. That light represents something. What does the light above the fire department on Main Street, USA in Disneyland represent? So the votes are starting to come in. Does it represent that Disney has paid the electric bill? Does it represent that there's a great big beautiful tomorrow? Or does it represent a memory of Walt's presence in his apartment? So what does the light that is illuminated above the fire department at Disneyland in California represent? Looks like most folks are getting this one right. So nobody has guessed paid the electric bill. I guess that's technically true. If the light is on, it does mean they paid their electric bill. A couple people are saying it represents a great big beautiful tomorrow. But actually what it represents is a remembrance of Walt. So Walt actually had an apartment above the fire department building in Disneyland on Main Street, USA. And in that window he would often look out at the crowds coming in and the good times that they were having. And so these days Disney keeps a light turned on in that window to remember Walt. Seems like a lot of folks are getting this one right. Joanne says it's a remembrance of Walt Disney. Wendy says the same thing. It's remembering Walt Disney. Madeline says Walt's spirit. It is exciting to see that that light still remains, and Kathy said she never noticed it before. Another fun fact. It is a very fun fact. This was actually a parallel story to one that happened at Walt Disney World. So the president of the Walt Disney World Resort posted a photo on Instagram of the raising of the United States flag in Town Square at the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. So even though the parks are closed, we don't know when they're going to be open. It kind of does my heart good to know that Disney is still honoring our country by raising the flag every morning. And it still flies proudly over Main Street, USA. So very excited that that is still going on. And in the same way, a tradition in California that the light remains on Main Street. Ellen said she heard this information on a tour. Yep, it is a very fun piece of information. All right, so represents Walt Disney. Okay, let's keep marching on. Let's see what we've got next. Oh, this is an interesting question. All right, so this is a money question. So here we go. This will be an interesting, just go ahead and take a guess sort of question. So the Hollywood Tower of Terror in Sunset Boulevard at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Walt Disney World Resort, Orlando, Florida. How much did it cost to originally build the Tower of Terror? So the possible answers are $100 million, $140 million, or $175 million. So this tells you already they dropped at least a cool $100 million on building the Tower of Terror. It was the first one using a very unique ride system. Great design, beautiful architecture, great theming. Up until recently, my favorite attraction at all of the Walt Disney World Resort. But how much did it cost to build it originally? Was it $100 million? Was it $140 million? Or was it $175 million? The votes are coming in. Looks like the crowd's got a pretty good guess on this one. So 22% of the people are saying 100 million, 61% are saying 140, and 18% are saying 175. Bree says, thanks for the Saturday morning trivia. You're welcome. Glad to do it. Okay, so the answer is actually $140 million. That was the price of building the Tower of Terror at Walt Disney World Resort. Okay, so on to another question. This is another opinion question. So there have been some rumors, probably makes sense, that the Walt Disney World Resort probably is not going to open up everything in one big bang once the coronavirus has passed. It's likely, and maybe expected, that Disney is going to open up pieces of the resort in phases. All 4 parks may not be open. I would definitely doubt that all of the resorts are going to be open at the same time. But I'm curious, what do you think? When Walt Disney World starts to open, do you think it's going to open in phases? I think that's a pretty good guess. But what do you think might open first, and what do you think might have to open until later? Kathy said she thinks that the Magic Kingdom is going to open up. Brian is asking, what is my current favorite attraction? Oh, Brian, yeah, good question. So my current favorite attraction in the Walt Disney World is Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance, amazing. Disney has raised the bar on themed entertainment, whether it comes to the storytelling, the design, the technology. It is an amazing attraction and my new current favorite. Janice is saying she thinks the Magic Kingdom is going to open up first because it's the original. Kristen is saying the Magic Kingdom. Kathy Peterson, hello Kathy, saying she thinks the Magic Kingdom too. Jesse said Shanghai will open a little bit at a time. Oh, John has got the link to the World of Walt store. John, thanks for the plug. The World of Walt store is where you can check out the Pin of the Month Club and also the t-shirts that are available. You can go to worldofwalt.com/store, or if you're interested specifically in the Pin of the Month Club, you can always go over to pinofthemonthclub.com. There, had to get the shameless plug in one way or another. It would not be a World of Walt Facebook Live broadcast if we didn't do that. James said he thinks that Disney Springs is probably going to open because it's the most public space. That's an interesting idea. I'm thinking that whenever it is possible, Disney Springs will probably open, especially since Disney has so many tenants which are shut down right now. Angel is saying she thinks the Magic Kingdom will be first and then a few resorts. Troy said they're going to open the backstage first. I think that's what that comment was. Tracy said how I think they're going to manage Hollywood Studios and Rise of the Resistance. A very good question. So some eagle-eyed people have seen that there has been an update to the My Disney Experience app, now showing queues, a plural with an S. So Disney may have been working to expand the boarding group concept, virtual queues, and perhaps this might be an opportunity to use virtual queues more widely so people are not standing in line. I suspect this is something that Disney's been working on. We know they have because of the virtual queue process for riding the Rise of the Resistance, which they call boarding groups. But it could be that Disney has jumped ahead of the game a little bit in getting their virtual queue technology ready. And that could be part of what they will do during the park opening. Don't really know, but we will see. All right, we got time for another question or two. Let me get the poll up here. It's actually our last poll question. This one also a little tricky. I try to keep them all just a little bit tricky. It's part of the fun. So, when did the Carousel of Progress open at Disney World? That's a very important part of this question. When did the Carousel of Progress open at Disney World? So the Carousel of Progress has actually operated in at least... It has operated in 3 different locations, interestingly enough. But my question for you is, when did it open at Walt Disney World? Topher's on the line. Hey, Topher, he says, thinks the Disney Springs theory makes sense. Disney doesn't have to charge admission. They can ease their way in. Very good point. So yeah, once people are paying to get in, they're going to have expectations for sure. So we'll see. Kelly said they have to think about the animals first. So it will be interesting to see Animal Kingdom. So Animal Kingdom is definitely a spread out park, lots of space. Disney is still taking care of the animals. There was some news about that over the past couple weeks. All right, so the votes are coming in. When did the Carousel of Progress open at the Walt Disney World Resort? So the Carousel of Progress has operated in 3 different spots. It first operated at the 1964-65 World's Fair. So it opened there, and 6% of the people guessed 1964. So it did have an opening then, but not at Walt Disney World. Next, 1971, that was the opening year for the Walt Disney World Resort, but the Carousel of Progress was not an opening day attraction. Actually, the opening day for Tomorrowland was pretty skinny at Walt Disney World. I think the Skyway was open and maybe one other thing, but there wasn't a whole lot going on at Tomorrowland in 1971. But the Carousel of Progress made its way from Disneyland, which is where it was after the World's Fair, to Walt Disney World in 1975. So half of you got that one right. The Carousel of Progress opened at Disney World in 1975. So it did open in 1964 at the World's Fair. But it was not an opening day attraction. Operated in Disneyland for the time between the World's Fair from 1967 to 1973, and then finally made its way to Walt Disney World in 1975. So fun question. Fred said, remember being stunned by it in 1964. Fred, sounds like you had an opportunity to see it at the World's Fair. Always like to hear from people who had a chance to see it. It was a huge crowd pleaser. Millions of people had the opportunity to see the Carousel of Progress when it first opened at the 64-65 World's Fair. Really another game changer, another time when Disney raised the bar for what themed entertainment could be all about. All right, everybody. So I appreciate your joining today. Oh, Nancy said, got them all right so far. Good for you. You are a Disney trivia master. Debbie said she saw it at the World's Fair. Brenda said changed her mind at the last minute to 1971. That was a good guess, but it was not an opening day attraction. Tanya said, when I run out of trivia, maybe I can challenge with hidden Mickeys. That's a good question. I could ask people if you can find certain hidden Mickeys, or maybe give me some information about it. Okay, everybody, I appreciate your being here today. Thanks for calling in on the broadcast. I think I had someone join me in my background there. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the trivia. Again, if you'd like to enter to win the pin, you can send an email to me at info@worldofwalt.com and put the word comic in the subject line. Joe said, thanks for doing this today. Gina said her dad, saw the Carousel of Progress at the World's Fair. Very cool. Kevin says, vivid memory for him seeing it at the World's Fair. Very cool. Tom said, mom took to see it. His mom took him to see it. I think that's what that said. Gail said, thanks for everything, bringing back some Disney smiles. Very happy to do it. Heather said, thanks for doing the broadcast. You are very welcome. I appreciate your being here. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did chatting with everyone. So I hope that you all stay safe. I know that many people are being impacted by the pandemic at these times. My heart and my prayers go out to you. I hope that you all stay safe. We're looking forward to a time when this passes, and it will, and we can all get back to normal. We can all have some Disney fun along the way. In the meantime, here on the broadcast, I appreciate your being here with me. Heather said, stay safe, everyone. I agree. Different Heather said, love the Disney trivia. Michelle said, Dad worked for CBS and was there for the opening of the World's Fair. That is very cool. Another connection to Disney history. Sherry says, misses the Disney videos. I also miss the opportunity to be doing the videos in the parks, but once I do have an opportunity to get back into the parks and do the live broadcasts, I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, we'll be doing these hopefully every Saturday. Well, I'll let you know in advance. I've enjoyed putting the Disney trivia together, and I hope you've enjoyed participating in it. Jackie, we'll see you next Saturday. Mike said, going to see if YouTube would have a video of the 64 show. It will be very similar to the one you see or could see these days, except for the final scene. Although I do think the narration changed and the music changed, so actually that's a great point. there have been some differences. Mercedes says, thank you, Herb. You are welcome. I appreciate your being here. All right, everyone, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the trivia. Enter to win that Disney trading pin. And I'll work on some of the technology glitches for next time. So I hope you have a wonderful Saturday and a great weekend. I pray that you will stay safe. And until next time, God bless you.